In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the backup camera on this Chevy Equinox. Let's get started. To get access to the camera, we have to go through the back of the liftgate, and therefore removing these panels is going to be necessary, starting with the top piece. I'm going to take a trim tool, stick it right in here, try to pop it out. There we go. Set that aside. Next, inside the handle right here, there's going to be a cap that covers a torque screw. We have to remove that before we move on to the lower panel. Take a trim tool or a pocket screwdriver, pry this out, and use a T30 bit to remove this screw. Now to remove this piece, all we have to do is pry down on it. There we go. Don't go too far. If you have the power liftgate option, you're going to have to unplug the connector for it. There's a tab on the side of it. Push on that, pull out on the connector. There it is. I can't show you this while I'm doing it, so I'm going to show you now. There are 4 10mm headed bolts, or nuts actually, that hold on to studs. One here, one right there, and one all the way on the other side right here. We have to remove all of them in order to get the outer trim piece off so that we can actually pull the camera off of it. So you can easily reach them. They have openings, especially these 3. This one has a smaller cutout right up here. You'll need a deep 10mm socket and an extension for this. There are a couple things that we need to disconnect or do at this point. One is to disconnect this connector here. Push on the tab and pull it away. We're going to have to pay attention to this rubber grommet as we pull the harness through and as we move the trim out of the way. And this trim at this point is only held on with 2 of these white tabs. One right here, the one you see, and one on the other side of it. All you have to do is squeeze in the 2 edges, and as you remove the trim, that's what I'm going to have to do from this side so it can pop through. So here we are on the outside. I'm going to very gently stick a trim tool in here to help put pressure on it as I unclip it. And I'm just going to reach in, push on that, or squeeze on that clip. There it is. The grommet has to pop through. Here's the backup camera. We have to remove this plastic piece, or at least just move it out of the way so we can get better access to it. There are 2 tabs, one on each side, that secure it. However, I'd like to unplug the harness first before I move on with removing it. So if you follow the harness along, it goes to this white connector here. I'm going to pry this off of its retainer. Then we can flip it over, get to the back of it, where we can press on this tab and unplug it. Pull it through. All we have to do now is squeeze on 2 little tabs that hold the backup camera in place and then push it down through the outside of this trim. One locking tab right here. Try to push it through a little bit so it doesn't clip back in. There's one more locking tab that I'm going to get from the outside, mostly because I can't reach it from the inside. Put pressure on it so it can pop through. And there it is. There's your backup camera. Take the new one, slide it through. When you slide this through, make sure it's facing the right way, otherwise it'll be mounted backwards. Clip it in, back over to the connector, plug it in, make sure it clicks. It was a silent click, but I heard it. And resecure the harness onto this retainer. Just like that. Put this plastic piece back in. Start reinstalling by putting this harness through and then getting the grommet to snap into place so it can seal up. It's easiest if you reach in and pull on the grommet from the other side. There we go. Make sure that's seated. Line this up, press it in, plug this back in. Make sure that clicks. Double check that grommet so that you don't have any water leaks, and let's start mounting up the hardware. Put in all the mounting nuts and snug them up. Bring this lower panel in and plug in the power liftgate switch. Press it into the two lower clips first, and then press it up. Reinstall the T30 Torx bolt and the cover that hides it. There we go. And finally, this upper trim. That all lines up.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.